getting a little bit more family. It's your girl Mo, and we're back for a devotional session for today. Of course, I have started my day. So earlier today, I went straight to the gym. I went fasted today. I got some cardio in and some weight training in, and came home. I wanted to, get into my devotional and my tracking as well. And then the message that I got, I felt was pertinent enough to share with you all. So I hope that you guys are doing your devotionals on your own time and making prayer time and intentional time throughout your week, that you are taking time to journal and get your thoughts out, because ultimately that's what you're supposed to be doing to support yourself. I get on here to inspire you guys to start, getting these habits into your own life and to share, what I get from my devotional time. But ultimately, it's important that you're making the time for yourself to download and to get aligned with God and get into those messages that are going to challenge you. Because this one from today is definitely, it took me to ponder and to really look inward to see, where am I lacking in this area, right, in regards to the topic of the devotional today. But I won't skip ahead. I'm going to give you guys a moment to hop into the live. Good morning. And ultimately, we'll get into the message and the tracking and the regular session that we do, okay? But today, this is my last juice. This is pineapple, orange, and ginger in here. So, and coconut water, of course. I told you guys I put coconut water in my juices. So, or any kind of hydration. It could be spring water, mineral water. All of those things are really good for you. And right now, there's been a respiratory virus going on. So it's so important that you are getting fruits in your body, something that's going to detoxify you. This high frequency fruit and vegetables that are coming from the earth and getting pure fuel sources from the fruits and vegetables is really essential to your body. And ultimately, as I've been in my health and journey, ultimately I've learned that this is going to be a great way to hydrate yourself, to maintain your health. And ultimately, I definitely try to make sure that I'm highlighting this because I think it's important. Ultimately, this is my last juice, so I showed you guys the last time I juiced, so I'll probably do that again. I'll go live while I'm juicing and show you guys my little recipes, but ultimately I got to do that again this week, so I'll definitely be sharing that with you guys. But I do want to give you guys time to hop into the live because obviously, I like to give people time to, connect on the live. But ultimately, I will be reposting this for viewership after the fact because I think that this message is important. I think that it'll bring you guys some enlightenment and it's going to challenge you, right? But I'm going to take a moment and be present with my juice, and I'm going to give you guys a second to hop in live. Oh, did I say that there was ginger in this? Guys, if I didn't tell you, I love ginger. In all my juices, there's going to be some ginger, okay? I don't know. Ginger is so good, and it's so anti-inflammatory. It's got so many benefits. It's really good for your gastrointestines. It's very good for your stomach health. So many good things from ginger, and I just love ginger. So ginger is going to be one of those recipes, and all of my recipes is going to be an essential part because I love ginger, okay? All right, let's hop into it. First, let's start with my tracking. So you guys know what this is. This is my journal. This is my personal journal. So as we've talked about before, what do I journal in here? I journal what I see in my reality. So prior to my devotions, right, I look into my life and I try to write down whether it's some thoughts that I had or some feelings that I was dealing with, or it was something that's going on personally in my life, right? I write those things in my journal because I find for myself that I'm a writer. Even when I try to remember things, I love to write things down, and that helps me remember them. So ultimately, I know some people are tactile like that as well, and so journaling works for me. People do digitally journal as well, so I definitely, do what works for you. I'm just sharing what works for me, and I definitely love having a physical journal coloring in it, using all my different pens, and also just writing ultimately how I'm feeling and what's going on with me in here. So we're getting through April, guys, and my tracking here on my calendar, we're getting walks in, guys. I'm staying consistent in the gym. I'm seeing over my tracking that Monday's usually my day off with the workouts, but I'm still getting steps and stuff in. But I'm usually taking that day off because that's like my second off day before I have to go back to work and everything. So I take that day off of going to the gym. But I'm being consistent really with almost getting 5 days a week of getting in the gym. In consistent weeks, so I'm so happy with that, and I'm so happy with my tracking, with my walking. I'm doing running. Like in this weekend, I've gotten probably over, right here it just looks like over 20,000 steps, right? I'm just kind of like summing it up, but I love you know, getting myself in there, challenging myself, and feeling like I'm being productive. Like I've said, that's why writing works for me. I love to track. I love to see my progress. I love to see the productivity I'm doing. So that's why I like tracking, and I highlight that for you as well. All right. And today is Tuesday, the 16th. So, you know, we're getting through April pretty quickly, and that's why it's also so important for me to write things down. Like, you know, all of this productivity, it could go to waste in our minds, right? Like sometimes we can't track really how productive we're being, but when we're writing it down, we can go back and reflect, right? We're like in the 4th month of the year, and we are doing great things. Like we are breaking old trends. We are putting positive activity towards our health and our wellness and how we are physically showing up. And I love that for me. Like I love being able to run. I remember in the past, I used to have really bad knee problems, and as I've been running and as I've been doing my supplements and as I've been integrating nutrition, like my knee pain is almost gone, and I'm running, guys. Like, you know, really getting yourself physically in there and pushing yourself and challenging yourself at your own pace. There's no like, oh, you gotta be fit within 90 days. No, for me, it's gonna be a journey. It's gonna be time. I'm gonna push myself. I'm going to consistently try to be disciplined, and I feel like those traits are more important with your health and wellness journey. It's not about a quick fix. It's about long-term longevity, and that's why I'm even doing cardio. Cardio is for heart health, right? And ultimate weight training is for my basically stamina and things of that nature. I want to be able to be powerful. I want to be able to lift my own weight my whole life. I want to be able to walk even if I'm like, you know, not always feeling my best. I want to be able to take care of myself, and I do that by getting physically active and tracking those things and seeing it over the trends over the months and the years. And ultimately, I'm so happy with that, and I hope that, you know, once you start getting in your own journey, you can see that those small wins are a collective of how you are positively moving forward and putting inertia and energy into you growing as a person. So my journal session for today is very short, you know. It's about what's going on in my life, and it says, letting the new moments give me awe and wonder from the blessings you give us, living one day at a time, one moment at a time. As I've talked to you guys in the past about, overthinking has been a thing that I've dealt with, right? And we've talked about how, like, you know, really centering yourself on the things you can control, right? Minding your own business, minding your lane, staying in your lane, like all of those things are coming to the point where we're letting God control everything that is that's outside of us, and we putting action, discipline, and being respectable to ourselves by being diligent to the things that we have control over, right? So what does that look like? For me, it looks like making sure my area, my things are taken care of, my area is clean. Like those are things that my mom and dad have instilled in me from when I was a young child. So as I've gotten older, I've been diligent in those things. But how does that look when it comes to yourself personally? Always making sure you feel nice, always making sure you feel you know, taken care of, and making sure that you're putting the self-care in that you need to, so that way you're showing up as your best you, and you are confident, and you are willing to, you know, interact with people, because those things, not feeling like you are showing up as your best, or always feeling like you are prepared for the moment, can cause things like depression depression, it can cause anxiety, it can cause self-consciousness, right? But we want to come and show up as our best selves. I want to be confident, I want to be clear, I want to be concise when I talk to you guys on here, and I do that by making sure that I'm diligent in other areas of my life, like taking care of the things I have and taking care of me. So I hope that that kind of enlightenment gives you a little bit of understanding why I journal and why I do all of the things that I do and why I show up the way that I show up. If you're looking to change the way you show up, you have to change the way you're disciplined in the little things in your life, and those things give you a big change in your appearance, in your how you show up and how you execute things. So definitely wanted to highlight that for you guys. So let's hop into the devotional for today. It's titled, Have Mercy. Let's face it, we've all messed up, made mistakes, or been thoughtless, or careless, or clueless. Sometimes we have been deliberately reckless, rebellious, stubborn, or foolish. And God, in His greatest love for us, has shown mercy. He has responded to us, not with anger or frustration or irritation, but with compassion, gentleness, and patience. No, He has not treated us as our sins deserve. Instead, He has completely forgiven us. Though we are the ones in the wrong, He has taken the initiative to reach out and make things right between us. We have been blessed, and we continue to be blessed as He shows us the same mercy to others. Oh, and I messed up. Okay, He has taken the initiative to reach out and make things right between us. We have been blessed, and we continue to be blessed as we show the same mercy to others. I had to get that right. The more mercy we have, the more mercy we will be given. The more we will be forgiven. The more we experience His unending mercy and amazing grace. Whenever you're standing and praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him. Drop the issue and let it go. So that your Father who is in heaven will forgive you for your transgressions and wrongdoings against Him and others. Mark 11:25. Yes, you must show mercy to others, or God will not show mercy to you. James 2:13. Since God chose you to be the holy people He loves, you must clothe yourself with tender-hearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Colossians 3:12. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Matthew 5:7. And the journaling session I had after reading this, I took some time because I think that, as humans, we try to figure out how we are going to best experience life, right? And in that, for myself, I've learned that, when people do me wrong, sometimes it's best to just, cut ties and not interact with those people and put boundaries up, right? But is that reflecting the love of God? Is that reflecting, understanding that person and understanding that they're not in a good place and being able to be compassionate and being gentle? I don't believe so. And I believe that ultimately I understand when we're dealing with traumas and we have to cope by separating ourselves. I understand those things. But as we overcome our trauma and we are faced with new transgressions that may happen towards us, we need to learn how to face those transgressions and show love and compassion throughout them. And it's interesting because I was having a conversation with a friend and we were talking about an interaction that recently happened. And ultimately, a friend came back into our lives, but over time, we realized that that friend wasn't able to show up as we have expectations as friends, right? And, ultimately, we knew that that friend was in a broken place. We knew that that friend was going through a lot. And ultimately, for me, I was just like, well, I know that they can't be a friend to me. So, I don't take it as any harm, any foul, but I'll just continue to let it be what it is. If they can't reach out to me, then we're just not going to talk. But this message today shows us that having mercy is also reaching out to those who are broken and letting them know that they are loved, regardless of the offense they may have done to you. And that's where I was challenged. I was like, dang, like, you know, usually if something bad happens, like, yeah, I don't like be mad or have a grudge against people, but I definitely stop communication because I feel like I'm giving to more than I can basically gain from that situation. But ultimately, we have to realize that God is our provision, right? He gives everything that we need. So why are we looking for other people, other broken people to give us things when God gives us everything that we need, right? And in that moment, I realized, like, you know, I know my friend is broken, and I should just be a supportive friend, and I should also maybe reach out, because ultimately maybe they don't have the words to say in regards to us not interacting anymore, and they don't know what to do because they're in a broken space. But because I am not in a broken space, I should be able to show love to that person and not feel like I'm depleted without it, right? Without receiving that thing back. So this message today has challenged me to understand truly what mercy is. Mercy sometimes is not just letting it go, because, you know, I know that if there was like an interaction and there's a problem, I'm going to stand up for myself. But sometimes it's reaching out. It's letting people know, hey, like, I know you didn't know what to say. I know that you're in a broken space, but you're loved. You're loved even if you do something offensively to me. I still love you, although, right? And so ultimately today, this devotional has changed my perspective. It has changed my outlook. You know, there's so many things in life, and there's so many broken people in this world. And in order to grow past our trauma, we have to realize that people will be offensive. People will rub you the wrong way. It's how you act in those moments and how much compassion and how much love and gentleness that you can embody in those moments, right? So when my friend, like, you know, wasn't able to be the same friend that I am to him in the same way, I can reach out and I can say, hey, you know, you're still loved. Even though, you know, you could have done better, and I can still communicate those things, but I can still show him love and gentleness, even though those situations didn't work out the best way. But today, you know, I just wanted to hop on here and share this message with you all. I hope you understood and really absorb the message today. Have mercy for those, right? Have mercy for those who are different levels of life than you. And, you know, it's not always if you can't get something, then you know, break off that communication. Sometimes you have to go back across the bridge and let them know that they're loved regardless of how they show up. And sometimes, you know, it seems like, oh, why would I do that? We are reflections of God. We are a manifestation of His love and His grace. And so why not show people who are broken love, even though they're going through their own things, right? There's nothing more valuable than in your darkest time having a friend that's going to love you even in your mess, but also have the ability to have boundaries to the point where your mess doesn't impact their love for you, right? That is a blessing in itself. So many times we, you know, break things off. We prune things that ultimately need love and nourishment, right? We talked about that. The grass is not always greener on the other side. It's where you water it. And sometimes your friends need your water, right? And ultimately you're saying, why would I continuously keep watering something that keeps on being offensive to me? And it's because ultimately it shows you how God loves us, right? You want to love others how God loves you. And if you have a relationship with God, you know that anything that you give out, He's going to refill for you. You don't have to worry about what you give out to people. God will always give provision for you if you are walking in alignment with Him and you are doing things that are showing and manifesting love to His people. So I wanted to hop on here and share that message with y'all. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you got some enlightenment from it, and I hope that you're being the change that you want to see. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.